Okay, so now we know how to set up NPCs. We've got our player character working. I think, this is reasonable to save the test level like this with these sample NPCs in it. And what I want to do next is start building the layout of my actual town environment. So what I have done, if you remember, I was looking at assets and I found this like destroyed city scene, and it was pretty cool. And I tested collision and it worked out okay. And so this is like a totally feasible option. Like I could put all my characters up here and just build a little scene based on people who are stuck up on this giant ruined building. Honestly, I think like how you do this next step needs to be based on like your ambition factored by or tempered by your time available to work on the project, right? So if I didn't have much time, this is great because it's like a ready built thing, and I could just start putting down NPCs and adding what they say when I talk to them, right? The On the other hand, let me show you this other asset pack I found. It was called, let's see here. So I'm inside of assets. It looks like, I guess it's called RPG FPS Game Assets Industrial. And I'm going to use my same strategy here of normally when you look at an asset pack that you downloaded from the asset store, there's going to be like scenes, right? So first I want to show you this asset showcase scene. So it looks like there's nothing here, but what I'm going to do is just double click something and then it should make the camera jump to its position. All right, so in this scene, it's like one of everything that's in this asset pack. There's a lot of things, a lot of props, some big like buildings and stuff, this like fencing, the different type of fencing, like a concrete wall, I guess. This one has an interior to it. That's cool. This like little, I don't know, freight container. Oh, I didn't know. This is changing the way I'm thinking about some things, seeing that these have interiors. And then all these buildings, and I'm pretty sure I tried to skim through them and see if any of them had interiors, because for my idea, I wanted to have like a character that was not allowing the others to go inside. So it would be neat if eventually I could like unlock the door, but I don't think any of these buildings have interiors modeled. And I don't even think they have. Oh, this one does have a door, so that's interesting. But you can see like if I got rid of the door, it's just not working. So I would have to I could use Pro Builder, if you know about that, to like model a pretty simple interior here, which is possible. But I just want to call out like this modular, there's all these road pieces. So this like modular approach, right? Like I could use these pieces to build like a lot of different things. And that's really powerful, but it's also really time consuming. And so if you don't have time like this, if this were just level design, the class, is how we should be doing it, right? We should totally build our own layout based on this. But since I'm more focused on narrative and trying to construct like an immersive quality, I'm going to take a look at this asset showcase scene. I'm not going to save changes to these scenes because it's they're from the asset pack. I want them to look how they were originally. Sorry, we were already looking at the asset showcase. I want to look at map v1. All right, so here you can see how you can craft a pretty compelling scene from those modular pieces, right? I can just click around and you can see how they've kind of snapped everything together like Lego pieces to build this robust environment. And since, like I said, I'm not trying to like emphasize level design here. I'm trying to emphasize some of this more narrative stuff. I might find my time better spent like starting from this, right? So what I did is I opened this scene and I'm like, okay, where, like, this is a nice compromise between the city scene, the ruined city, which would have been really easy because it was so small and simple. This one is a little bit, there's like more going on. I would never try to use this whole thing. It's way too big to be like a playable space for this exercise. So I'm trying to figure out how can I partition part of this off to make a more simplified but good looking space, right? And seeing the space, assembled like this can help give you ideas. So like right away I was thinking, okay, with my zombie idea, I want to use this like fence and like totally have a situation where there's like zombies at this gate, and maybe the existing people in here have just let you in, and some people maybe didn't like that, and we'll be able to like look at the fence and see a zombie like playing just an animation where he's kind of pounding on the fence or something. I guess integral to this idea is finding a fence piece that can go like a gate that may not exist, so I should probably double check that that's possible. And so I think what I would do is just start the player like here, and then like I can use props to like partition part of this off so that they can't like go all that far back, like this is already pretty partitioned off, so that's okay. I did want to get like one of these buildings with the doors in here so that I can do my idea where somebody, unless this one has a door to it, it doesn't look like it, but I can look into it more. But yeah, I do want to look into that, and maybe I'll model the inside with ProBuilder, just a simple walled off like thing like was in the test level, the hallway that I made. If I go into scenes, test level, just do something like this on the inside. That's just really simple, and then I would just apply some basic texture I can find on the asset store to get the interior to work. That's a possibility. I don't know if I'll go that far because it's time consuming and it's not the like essence of the assignment. But it's possible, I guess. Let me go back and find that other scene. RPG, FPS assets, industrial, showcase scene. Oh, I'm sorry. I keep clicking showcase. I mean to look at map V1. Yeah, so I think I'm going to work with like this and start building the layout of my concept here. I did want to call out, like, if you notice, they've put up, so I did test my player here and it does work, and we'll look at that in a second, but I did want to call out that they have, all right, hold on. I need to rephrase this. I'm getting ahead of myself. When I say I tested my player here and it worked, I mean like there is collision on this stuff. I don't fall through the floor. I can actually walk around here and be blocked by things that look like I should be blocked by them. All right, so anyway, they set up these barricades to try and define and limit the playable space a little bit. And if you notice, like if I go past this barricade, like right at this point, you're not meant to be looking from this perspective. So if I chose to use this, I would have to do a little work of like pretty much like duplicating. So if I click on this wall and I hold Control and hit D, I could move this over and kind of see like, will this work? Control D duplicates. And I just want to kind of get a feel like, can I make this look reasonable over here? Because if I can't, I don't want to use this this part of the map, basically. But I like this part of the map because I could have, there's this like vista where it's like, I can understand, oh, maybe the player came from there. I might be able to add like some terrain elements back there so it looks like there's, trees and stuff. Or alternatively, if I don't want to go through that work of like filling in this spot, that's because like the player was never meant to be over here, so it requires me to fill in some of those blanks. I could maybe use like this section. So here you can see it's like totally built out. The player can't see out of the world anyway. I would have to decide, do I want to like section this off and then just use like this part, which actually would work pretty well, I think. Or I could section this off and use this part. This could work too. So, you know, these are the kind of, that's my thought process. I just kind of wanted to go over my thought process, I guess, in this video. And then once I come up with a plan, I'm just going to start building it. So I guess maybe I'll stop this video here and make it kind of like the overview or thought process or approach. And then in the next video, I'll start like actually building it. And, you know, you can see how I do it, and maybe it will be effective as like a, I don't know, it could be instructional, but it certainly won't be required. Like, you're not going to be doing the exact same things as me, and I've questioned whether I should even record it, but I guess I will, just in case it's helpful, because I was going to build a sample anyway. So I'll record me building the sample, and you can just see my workflow and all of that. All right, I'll see you in the next video.